countdown begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually for Zerb, for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times, and don't mess up the cash flow, we live.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Tuesday noontime live stream. We are back at the courtroom because Diddy is having a lot of allegations thrown his way, courtesy of Capricorn Clark, the lady you see in the photo with Cassie, being hugged on by Cassie. Cassie looking good right there in that photo. Yes, Capricorn Clark has said a lot about her employment over there at Bad Boy Records. This is her right there on the stand crying as we speak, as she gives testimony about being kidnapped, getting threatened over 50 times, and just, all types of stuff about getting threatened to get thrown into the East River. So they are there right now inside Manhattan courtroom testifying. And guys, and hit the like button as you guys come in. Hit the like button as you guys come in, guys. Because remember, we have to prove RICO. And I think that's what that is what the prosecutors are going for right now by bringing in Capricorn Clark. They're trying to prove RICO. Caribbean Casanova is in the building early. She a thief that was going to get oiled. Yes, I seen she's testified about, baby oil all over the hotel rooms, on the floor, on the walls, in his bag. So there was a lot of oil going on, Caribbean Casanova. Yes, you're right. Now, the whole thief thing we're going to get to in a minute. Drobonot is in the building, says, salute Razor, salute Ronin Travelers, salute to you and your channel, Ronin. How you doing? Hope all is well with you, Ronin. Shout out to Kelvin H. Don't be a thief, says Kelvin H. Ronan, my brother, keep us up to date on the court shenanigans. Yes, a lot of shenanigans going on right now, Ronan. And don't be a thief. Yeah, Casanova said she a thief too. Well, listen, we gotta see. Like I said, we are jury number 13, and on this chat, and they just putting it all out there. What's going on? Trying to prove RICO. Now, I told y'all this list right here. Crimes that are covered by the RICO Act. I keep putting this up here because there's been many confusion of what exactly is RICO. And RICO, right here, the definition of RICO right there. Crimes covered underneath RICO: arson, bribery, counterfeiting. Now, she has been testifying about Kid Cudi and why did she bring Diddy to Kid Cudi's house. You know what I mean? Now, I know that Diddy's lawyers is trying to get a mistrial, and they want Kid Cudi's testimony thrown out of court altogether because they said that the as far as the fire to the car, the Molotov cocktail, the DNA on that device came from a female, guys. So they're pretty much trying to say, look, there was a female DNA found at Kid Cudi's $140,000 car that was burned, and that so that was not any of Diddy's DNA or Diddy's associates, male associates. So there was only female DNA. So look, y'all got to throw this out. Y'all got to throw this testimony out of Kid Cudi. Now I'm starting to think now, because this lady Capricorn Clark was there. Maybe it was her DNA up there. That thing just crossed my mind. I don't know about you guys. Capricorn Clark was at Kid Cudi's house with Diddy. Now they're trying to get him on. Now the arson falls under the RICO, right? Of course, the extortion, and now kidnapping. Kidnapping is a big thing today, according to Capricorn Clark. And Capricorn Clark, this lady right here, that's with Cassie, like I said, Cassie's looking good right there in that photo. Diddy seemed like he was obsessed with Cassie too. To be honest, he had multiple girlfriends, but he seemed kind of obsessed with Cassie. And this is Capricorn Clark right there. So it starts out, and this from earlier. It starts out, all rise, and then the prosecutor asks Capricorn Clark, all right, where were you born from? Where did you grow up at? She said, born in San Francisco, moved to LA, worked for Def Jam Records, then Death Row Records, a late 90s gangster rap label. So then the prosecutor, what was your relation to Suge Knight? Now, Suge Knight gets brung up again. Capricorn Clark says he is the father of my friend's child. And then prosecutor, then you worked for Sean Diddy Combs. Capricorn Clark says, yes, he is over there in a blue sweater. I worked for him from 2004 to 2012. Then prosecutor, were you kidnapped? So they got right into that. The kidnapping, that's what I have in the thumbnail. They got right into the kidnap. Because like I said, RICO lists kidnapping as one of the crimes, guys. I mean, this is looking bad, and this is her testimony though. But we'll see. And she says, yes, I was kidnapped. So hit that like button. She says, yes, I was kidnapped, guys. Hit that like button as we go into further what she says. Now, like I said, RICO. Now, kidnapping is a crime. That's a huge crime anyway, even if it wasn't under RICO. But people keep saying, well, he wasn't charged for the spousal abuse, domestic violence, which is true. They don't even need that from what I see as far as trying to convince the jury of the RICO. Now, kidnapping it falls right underneath the RICO. And right now, that's what they are trying to prove. You know what I'm saying? They are trying to prove that he kidnapped this lady that worked for Diddy. Like I said, 2004 through 2012. All right. When did you first meet Combs? When I moved to New York City in 2002, we were super platonic friends. A headhunter said I should work for him as a personal assistant. I did until 2006. What were your duties? Capricorn Clark said, shadow him for Wake Up. All right. Then what? Capricorn Clark, head of women's for Sean John. Y'all remember that clothing line? Prosecutor. How long? A year. Then global brand director for Sean Diddy Combs. Name and likeness due diligence to grow the brand. Then I was terminated until 2016 for Cassandra Ventura, which is Cassie. All right, so hit that like button, guys. This is the Diddy trial. They're trying to prove kidnapping right now, which falls underneath the RICO, guys. It falls underneath the RICO. Obviously, that is a huge crime, and the prosecutors are putting it all out there inside that courtroom. They are putting it all out there inside that in that courtroom. They are bringing up all types of surprise witnesses. Diddy chef will be testifying also. Now today, also, they're going to have LAPD and the fire department testify. Now, I guess the fire department is going to testify about that Kid Cudi car. That Kid Cudi's car burning. They are concentrating a lot on that Kid Cudi's car fire incident. Did you work in the building? Capricorn, yes. We moved there in 2005. Your first day, where did Miss Combs take you? Central Park, after dark, along with Uncle Paulie. He looked like a linebacker. Does this photo look like him? No, he doesn't have on the black out shades he wore all the time. What did Mr. Combs tell you in the park? That since I'd worked for Suge Knight before, if anything happened, he might have to kill me. He might have to kill me right there. So obviously, this is a threat. And he hired her saying, look, you used to work for Suge Knight. And if anything happens, I might have to delete you. Now, I would ask this. Why would you hire somebody that worked for somebody that, was basically your business enemy that you pulled up on guns with your group, D-Rock and them? Why would you hire somebody from that record company, you know, and then threaten to kill her? That's wild. I mean, when I seen this, I was like, why would you just setting yourself up for failure right there, Diddy? You know, and then after he said he had to kill me, then Diddy's lawyer says objection, objection, and then the judge said overruled. You know, um, let me see. Yeah, so that was wild. That was wild. Does this photo look like him? All right, no, so I read that. Overruled. Proceed. How did you take it? Capricorn Clark says seriously. It had gravitas. How did you react? How did you react? Capricorn Clark says, I said I didn't have anything to do with that stuff. Objection. Sustained. Miss Steiner, what was Paulie's role? So yeah, so that's big right there, guys. That's something. Hit the like button, guys. Hit that like button. That is big right there, actually. That this stuff is coming out from courtesy of this girl, Capricorn Clark, hired by Diddy after she worked for Suge Knight. You know, and he according to her said, hey, if anything goes bad, I'm gonna have to kill you because you work for Suge Knight. If anything happens, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm like, why hire such a person? Why hire her? You know, why? You know, that's just setting yourself up. But yeah, man, hit the like button, guys. They need to prove kidnapping. She said she was kidnapped. Now we're gonna get into more of the kidnapping angle right now. Upload those, yeah. You know, because man, like I said, you know, many people have been just saying, including me earlier on in the first week of the case. Look, they only thing they proved was domestic violence. He's not on trial for domestic violence. But you know, lately I gotta admit they have been coming in with witnesses that at least, even if there's no DNA evidence, there's no camera footage, there is testimony, which is circumstantial evidence. If this jury, and I ask you guys in the chat, if the jury believes the lineup of testimony coming in from Kid Cudi and other people that work for Diddy, you know, some of these people have been granted immunity also. Free Diddy, free finger. I need both of my bros free so we can bring the freak offs back. Yeah, well, thank you, fake Miko. Yeah, and you know, this right here, guys, I think prosecutors are laying it all out there. They putting it out there for the jurors. They're putting a lot out there for the jurors. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Proceed, overruled. How they take it? How they react? I said I didn't have anything to do with that stuff, meaning with the Suge Knight stuff, and I guess the beef with Suge Knight, Death Row Records, and Bad Boy. What was Paulie's role? All right, Capricorn Clark says all aspect of Mr. Combs' movements to keep him safe, I guess. There was also D-Rock, Roger Bond, and Ruben. Now those those people basically like security for Diddy. Roger Bond and Ruben especially, and D-Rock of course has been his name mentioned as the person that was in the car when they did pull up on Suge Knight out there inside LA, and allegedly he had the gun in the car. Now, Orsa says, this is the prosecutor. Orsa is the prosecutor. Who's D-Rock? A good friend of Biggie Smalls. All right. Running back type body, like a running back type body in the NFL. Prosecutor, did you ever observe Mr. Combs with a gun? All right. Clark says, yes, in my home. Now, she had just like laying the Lord out, spilling the beans, guys. Says, yes, I witnessed him with the gun, which obviously we all know he has guns. Mr. Combs told Chris Lightly he had a gun. He had a problem with 50 Cent. So she name dropped 50 Cent. And I think 50 Cent, they're saying 50 Cent put a tweet out or Instagram or whatever saying he's scared now, you know, jokingly. So 50 Cent is having some fun with this testimony right now. So Capricorn Clark says Mr. Combs, told Chris Lightly he had a gun. He had a problem with 50 Cent. Okay. And I guess she said she overheard that conversation inside of a elevator inside one of the buildings they were going into. So, prosecutor, Were you ever accused of stealing? So this is where they're going to get to the kidnapping, guys. Hit the like button. This is very important for that RICO. Very important for the RICO. Were you ever accused of stealing? Yes, jewelry. I had been given, all right, it had been given to me. It was a loan. So she said, yes, she has been accused of stealing jewelry. It had been given to her. It was a loan. Then the prosecutor, it went missing, question mark. She says, yes. So she said she was given jewelry as a loan. And then what did you do? Capricorn Clark says, from Teterboro, I called 1440 and told them to lock it down. What did Uncle Paulie do? He questioned me for 3 hours. You went home, question mark. Clark says, no, to Queens. Yes, with Uncle Paulie. He searched my house. Okay, so they went to her house in Queens to search for the missing jewelry, and prosecutor. And did he talk about it? Capricorn Clark says, Mr. Combs told Chris Lightly he had a gun, he had a problem. All right, so I read that. All right, so let me see. All right, let me get to the update on going to her house, because Paulie took her to our house to search for the missing jewelry. All right, questioned her for 3 hours to Queens, right? All right. He took her to 1710 Broadway. It was dilapidated. It was being fixed up, but I didn't know that. Uncle Paulie took me to the 6th floor. The door was locked behind us. There was a 6-foot folding table and a heavy set man. So they took her to Broadway, 1710 Broadway. So that's not her house. So they went to her house first, right? They went to her house first, searched the house for the jewelry, questioning her for 3 hours, All right. Prosecutor, can you describe him? Capricorn Clark. 5 of me, 2 linebackers. He was chain smoking, as described in Uncle Paulie. All right. Did Uncle Paulie stay? No. Intermediately, he came back. Prosecutor, what did the heavy-set man say? All right. Capricorn Clark says, I was there to take a lie detector test. So another person dared to take a lie detector test after being accused of stealing. After being accused of, another worker the other day, last week, said that he was given a lie detector test also because they thought that some stuff was going missing, and they were hooking him up to a lie detector. Now she suffered the same. Man, so hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. We're going to see what else. All right. Like I said, she just said, look, it was given to her as a loan, but they said it was missing. So what happened to it? You know what I mean? What happened to it? And it's like they are accusing her of stealing jewelry, right? And putting her inside a room with a lie detector test, right? Obviously, she's shaking up. Remember, they're trying to prove that Bad Boy Records was headed by Diddy and that it is a criminal enterprise, guys. And stuff like this, if proven, which, all the jurists have to do is take the words of this lady and convict Diddy of running a criminal enterprise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be honest with you, he questioned me for 3 hours. Okay, so I read that. She described him. All right, Judge, Ms. Steiner, you may proceed. What was his demeanor? Very serious. I was terrified. Did you want to be taking that lie detector test? No, I was afraid. How was the test? Wires on you and they question you. Did I steal? Okay, so they were serious about that, very serious about that lie detector test, had her wired up, and she was terrified. She was terrified, guys. if the jury is believing this, man, this is a problem. This is a problem. Now I know that Diddy's lawyer is going to cross-examine this lady, Capricorn, today, but this is a issue for Diddy right now because what are y'all thinking in the chat? You know, this has to be. Man, this is not good actually. If you guys, want to believe what she's saying right here, you know what I'm saying? If you guys believe what she's spilling, if you guys believe the tea she's spilling, he says lies. Jack Black says, Razor, I'm gonna pull up next time I see you streaming outside. Yeah, you said you saw me out there with Kid Greatness out there inside Manhattan. Yeah, you should have pulled up and said what up. You know what I'm saying? You should have pulled up and said what up out there inside Union Square, 14th Street. Shout out to Kid Greatness once again. There's 120 victims, says Tony Sink. Alleged victim. We're gonna say alleged victims, Tony. I'm just going by. We on the jury right now, and I'm just going by what is going on inside the courtroom with this testimony from this lady right here. Said she was afraid. She was hooked up to that lie detector test. Okay, and did he tell you the results of the lie detector test? Capricorn Clark says he said to calm down, that he couldn't get a good reading and he might have to throw me in the East River. Bang! More threats of being killed by Diddy's guy. He said he threatened to throw her inside the East River. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Hit that like button, guys. He threatened to throw Capricorn inside the East River if she didn't stop moving or if she failed this lie detector test about stealing the jewelry. All right. Yeah, didn't want to bother you guys since he was lied to. Oh, okay, Jack Black. All right. Mike Deasy, a lot of the testimony right now is pure hearsay. What is the evidence so far? Says Mike Deasy. Now that's what the Diddy's team, they're going to cross-examine her, and they are doing that today. And that's what they're going to have to put out there in front of the jury. It's all about convincing the jury because Mike Deasy, as you well know, as you've seen in court cases, sometimes you don't need DNA evidence to convict. You don't need camera footage of the person doing a crime. You just need a witness. And if the witness is believable to the jury, they can convict the person that the witness is testifying against. And that's what the prosecutors are trying to do right now, trying to convince that jury pool that's sitting there. Yeah, we don't have a lot of like hardcore DNA evidence. This is circumstantial stuff. Y'all put two and two together. But yeah, I mean, they don't have hardcore evidence, but that's up to the jury to really, decide if they want to convict and give Diddy 15 years to life in prison for this. And this is where we at right here with the RICO stuff. You know what I mean? Now, questioning for 3 hours, took him to the 17 board rate. All right, so all right, can you describe them right? All right. Did Uncle Paulie say what? All right. So what did he say would happen if you failed the lie detector test? That they would throw me in the East River. Combs' lawyer said, objection. Can we have a sidebar? All right. So Combs' lawyer objected to the comment about, her saying that that Diddy, the guy, Uncle Paulie, would throw her inside the East River if she failed that lie detector test. Now, guys, this is a lot of testimony, and I know what Mike Deasy is saying, but these are multiple people coming into this courtroom saying all this stuff about Diddy and Bad Boy Records, his security staff threatening violence towards them. How much will that weigh on a jury's minds when they go inside, and make the decision whether or not to give this guy, all them years or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key thing we got to look at. How was the jury, seeing this? Now, of course, and this is her right there on the stand. That's Capricorn. She's crying, and of course, Diddy, he has his freedom on the line. Now, he turned down a plea deal, for 15 years, right before the trial, thinking, look, I'm already 55 years old. I'm not trying to be in it to 70. Let me fight this and try to get off. But, this right here, this new testimony that's coming in, could be very, very troublesome, But yeah, Mike Deasy, we'll see. We got to see how, now is the jury going to say, look at this lady crying? She's like the third person to cry on the stand, about working with Diddy, how they're trying to play to the jurors' feelings, it seems, Mike. And, without a lot of hardcore, type evidence, of course, right? What did Paulie say at the end? Capricorn Clark says that he come back the next day to figure this out. We started again, another lie detector test in the same location all day. Were you free to leave? Question mark. Here's the big one, guys. Here is the big one. Capricorn Clark says, no, she was not free to leave that building that she was being held in to have the lie detector test, daily. How long did this go on for? She said 5 freaking days, guys. Hit the like button. She said 5 days. That is huge. 5 days. 5 days. Kidnapping is on that RICO list. As expected, kidnapping is on that list. She said for 5 days. Now, will the jury believe her testimony? She said she wasn't free to leave. She said she was not free to leave. They were taking lie detector tests and doing lie detector tests on her. Supposedly these guys were trained, or Paulie was trained, I guess some type of FBI training to conduct a lie detector test. And she was not free to leave, guys. The prosecutors are trying to, this is why they got him for RICO. They trying to say that, well, she's saying outright that she was not free to leave. She was kidnapped for 5 days. That is troublesome. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Diddy's lawyers combat that. Myron Gaines was live streaming at the trial last week too. Did you see him out there? I seen that he was out there. I didn't see him out there in person, but I seen that Myron was out there from Fresh and Fit. Yes, he was out there. He was out there. A few people, like I said, Gene Deal was out there. Jaguar Wright was out there. Yeah. But right here, like all of this stuff that they're saying, this is a lot for the jurors to, digest. And it's like, are the jurors going to come back and say, nah, we don't believe any of this. We need some DNA evidence. We need some footage. We need some text messages. And I think there are some text messages. They did finally release some text messages as far as like actual threats from Diddy to Cassie. And I'm going to go into that in a few minutes. So that's right there, some physical evidence, finally, instead of just like hearsay, instead of, oh, Diddy said this and Diddy threatened us this. So those text messages are going to be big as far as like physical evidence. But let me see. Let me see if we could. Did he tell you results? I read that. Just going through some. Did you tell anyone where you were? Capricorn Clark says, no, I was just trying to survive it. I work under an NDA. Objection, says Combs' lawyer. So she said she didn't tell anybody where she was at when she was in that building, being held for 5 days, being subject to lie detector tests, because they said that she may have stolen some jewelry that she claimed was a loan to her and it just went missing. Judge says sustain. Jury should disregard the last answer. Prosecutor, what would have you been doing? She says, now Capricorn Clark says, shadowing Mr. Combs. What happened after 5 days? Asked the prosecutor. Capricorn Clark says that I could return to work, that Mr. Combs would see me the next week. Prosecutor, did Mr. Combs ever discuss it with you? Capricorn Clark says no. Prosecutor, why did you continue to work with Sean Diddy Combs? Now, this is a huge question right here. Now, I'm quite sure the defense is going to ask her this also. If you were kidnapped and held beyond your will, forced to take lie detector tests, accused of stealing, why in the world would you stay working for Mr. Combs after that? You know? All right. She says, here is her answer, guys. Her answer is, if I left, they would have thought I stole. Now, guys, we are the jury. You guys are the jury. Do you guys, what do you see about that answer? She said she stayed because if she left right after that incident, they would have thought that she actually did steal it. Maybe, guys, you could say the prosecutors are trying to pretty much say that I guess she was scared for her life, that she would get tossed into the East River, like they said. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Why would she stay? You know, maybe she feared for her life. She said, if I left, they think I actually stole it if she was to just leave after that incident. So this is all in the jury. This is the stuff that the jurors are taking in right now in that courtroom in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? What were your days like? Capricorn Clark. From his townhouse at 74th Street and Park in the morning to Diddy's house studio at night. How much sleep did you get? On a good day, 4 hours. On a bad day, 2. I got a stress condition. I was paid $55,000. Did you get paid overtime? Capricorn Clark. No, I spoke to the head of human resources. She said I was owed $80,000. Wow. Prosecutor, how did Puff Daddy Combs respond? Clark says he ripped up the paper. Prosecutor, would Mr. Combs stay at hotels? Clark says yes. With whom? Kim Porter, once a week. Okay, so now not paying. Said owed $80,000. I guess they're trying to say, you know, he skimped out on some of the pay. I guess you could add like a little forced labor to that. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to, but yeah, and that's happening right now inside the courtroom, guys. The This is it's a rap says Hot Wing. Hot Wing said it's a rap for Diddy. Like I said, now this is where it comes into. Hot Wing says it's a rap. Mike Deasy says a lot of testimony right now is just pure hearsay. But Hot Wing says it's a rap. How will the jurors see? Will they go with Mike Deasy and say, look, it's just a lot of hearsay, not no hardcore evidence? Or will they go with Hot Wing says, yeah, I've heard enough. I find Diddy guilty. You know what I'm saying? Of racketeering, RICO, kidnapping, extortion, and the like. You know, so literally nothing burger case says walking and talking with Mr. Green. So if you was in a jury walking and talking with Mr. Green, you said you would find Diddy not guilty, right? All right, no evidence at all, just druggy babble. So you're saying the witness is a drugged up, babbling witness, according to you know. You're saying Capricorn. Now they're about to get it. They're going. I'm about to read to you the incident with Kid Cudi and how does Capricorn Clark come into play with the whole Kid Cudi incident with Diddy and the burning of his car, which is huge in this case also because arson is also underneath the RICO. You know what I'm saying? You know, arson is underneath the RICO, and right there, arson, robbery, counterfeiting, distribution of controlled substances, embezzlement, extortion, gambling, homicide, kidnapping. If that jury believes that this lady was kidnapped for 5 days, that could be an issue for Diddy's team right there. Robbery, wire fraud, witness tampering. Of course, that was some of the evidence that the feds had took from his house during the raid on him. All that baby oil, all that baby oil. Oh man, and there's the lady right there who is crying on the stand today as we speak. Capricorn clock on the stand right now as we speak, testifying against Diddy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they said, why did she go back? She said because she did not want them to think she actually stole that jewelry. So let's see what else it was said. Hit the like button, covered in the Diddy trial. It's going to be like a couple of more weeks of testimony and witnesses. They said something about victim number 3 won't be testifying because the victim number 3 does not want to testify for whatever reason. I don't know why. They didn't say why, but victim number 3 will not be testifying in this trial. All right, so all right, I read that. 5 days, you can return to work. All right, no, we're just trying to survive it. It worked. I worked under an NDA. Objection. Jury should disregard the last answer. What would have you been doing? All right, shot. All right, read that. What were the days like? All right, she was all right. So I read all this stuff. Just trying to find an update for you guys. Wait for the update because, like I said, a lot of stuff is going on inside that courtroom. Hit the like button, guys. Obviously, you could say this lady is very traumatized. Obviously. But you know, she was an employee of Diddy. They are trying to prove that her employer was running a criminal enterprise underneath the Bad Boy Records label, and that Diddy himself was the lead guy. All right. What names would he book rooms under? Frank Black, Frank White, and the girlfriend's question mark, Jackie Starr, says Capricorn Clark. Where did he stay? Question mark. Intercontinental Buckhead in Atlanta. All right, so we read that. How frequent would Combs stay in hotel with Cassie? Capricorn Clark says like once a week. Prosecutor, did he speak to you about his relationship with Cassie? Capricorn Clark, yes. Miss London was there. Chef Jordan in the other room. He called Cassie over, asked her to walk there, hand me that, go back in the other room. She did. What did he say? You biatches won't do that. That's why you don't have a man. So I guess he was saying that he can call Cassie over and tell her to grab him stuff and get him stuff, and that you bees won't do that. That's why you don't have a man. So all right. Diddy, this is from CNN. Diddy's assistant was forced to take a lie detector test after his jewelry vanished and threatened with murder. This is from CNN, guys. They're going to throw you in the East River. Sean Diddy Combs' former assistant Capricorn Clark testified that she was once forced to take a lie detector test after Combs' diamond jewelry vanished and was told she'd be thrown in the East River if she failed the test. Clark told jurors that Combs' bodyguard, Uncle Paulie, came to her home and forced her to come with him to an abandoned skyscraper at 1710 Broadway after Combs' diamond necklace, bracelet, and watch went missing while she was transporting them. So it went missing. So a little more details into the missing jewelry. So she was transporting the jewelry that went missing. Okay, so we got more details of why they felt that she probably stole the jewelry. Hit the like button. She was greeted on the 6th floor by a heavy-set man, chain smoking cigarettes and drinking black coffee, she testified. He said, if you fail this test, they're going to throw you in the East River, Clark testified. Clark says she underwent a whopping 5 full days of lie detector tests before being told she could finally return to work. right there. They're trying to prove that that's kidnapping, guys. They're trying to prove that that's kidnapping. Because what they're going to say is, look, why didn't you just call the cops on her and have her questioned or arrested, whatever? Y'all handled it basically thug style. And that's what they're trying to prove. Bad Boy Records, Diddy's security was his co-conspirators and goons that were working for Diddy. I mean, that's pretty straightforward for what I'm looking at right now. All right, what about Boat Cash? So they asked her about, what did she see while they were abroad, I believe. So Capricorn Clark says, she seen cash and drugs around, right? And she testified that she actually got some coke for Diddy. She had to purchase some coke, and she actually purchased drugs for Diddy, right, for his own personal use. Same thing as some of his other assistants testified also. Capricorn Clark, yes, 100,000 euro coming back from Europe. Prosecutor, where'd he get it? Clark says club bookings in Europe. He keep it, then give it to his security. Then into his bedroom personal safe. Okay. Also, violence, ? Fighting. So I'm trying to, I don't know what's that. But yeah, guys, they are coming hard after Diddy pause. They are bringing in these witnesses to testify what they seen, what were their job, and what were they doing for Diddy. Hit the like button now, guys. Hit the like button. Covering the Diddy trial. Traumatized. Yeah, laughing. Yes, well, hey, listen. She's up there crying. She's up there crying. Now, like I said, y'all part of the jury. Y'all the 13th juror. Right there. Look at that. That's what she's crying up there as we speak, guys. And what is the jury looking at? Is she's playing on the feelings of the jury? Big Super, oh man, is in the building. What up? What up, Big Super? Oh man. Good to see you back, Big Super. I just left the courtroom from the Puffy trial. You serious, Big Super? You was out there? You got out there. You must have got out there early then. You must have got out there early if you're telling the truth, Big Super. What up? So great. Yo, great to see you back, Big Super. Got Big Super in the building. Yeah. Big Super in the building. Kidnapped and returned to work. Laughing. Like I said, according to her, she said, look, if she would have returned back, they would have thought she really stole that jewelry. I guess she was, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, if you put yourself in her shoes and somebody, and you was held like that, threatened to get thrown into the East River, I mean, also your career too. So, I mean, of course, her career, I guess, felt that she would get blackballed also, or maybe even physical harm. I mean, man, this is a lot, bro. I'm looking. I don't know, because it's like it's just so many people coming out against this guy Diddy now, man. With these stories, it's like the jurors going to dismiss every single line of testimony just because there's no video evidence or no DNA evidence of what they're saying happened. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. But let me see. So Big Super, all right. So Big Super said, drop the link. All right, Big Super. The news is wrong. Let me see. They are cross-examining her right now. All right, so I'm gonna drop the link for Big Super. Hold on. I've been to a couple of white parties, but never a freak off. Everyone knew about Puffy. Rumors about that boy since 1992. Sick of being goaded. Yes, I'm gonna drop the link for you, Big Super. Give me a second. Let me just read this. What this is. Combs showed up at Clark's home with a gun, threatened to go kill Kid Cudi. Ex-employee testifies. Now, this is important. I'm gonna drop the link for you, but I want to read this first. Now, this is from CNN. Capricorn Clark, the person that you see up there crying, said that Diddy came to her home for the first time ever, knocking on her door. Right? One day in December 2011, Sean Diddy Combs showed up at Capricorn Clark's home, banging on her door. According to Clark, she could see through the peephole that Combs' pants were split up the seams, up the inseams from the knee upward, exposing his underwear. When she opened the door, Clark saw that he was holding a gun and was furious. Combs, entering her home, said, "Why didn't you tell me?" and asked her about Kid Cudi. Now, of course, Diddy was jealous, according to every reports, that Kid Cudi was dating Cassie Ventura. Clark testified that Combs, still holding the gun, told her, "Get dressed, we're going to go kill him." When she tried to protest, Combs says, "I don't give a blank what you want to do. Go get dressed." This is testimony in front of those 12 jurors. So remember, we heard testimony that she was the one that brought Diddy to Kid Cudi's house. Now we're seeing the backstory. Why she's saying that she was forced to go to Kid Cudi's house. Okay. All right. Now, Capricorn, former employee said she returned to work for the hip hop mogul after a 2006 incident at the Miami home, but not directly under him. Clark testified that she accepted the director of marketing position for Sean John Women's Line because she didn't have to work directly with him. I didn't want that close proximity in his personal orbit like that, she said. So so this is some of the reports explaining why she went back to the company to work after these incidents. Because and now it's up to the jury if they want to take her word for that. Why would you go back to the company? I'm just putting this out there for some of the people that's wondering why she would return back to the company. So she stayed. Cappity cap cap. So you guys are juror number 13. Some of you guys are not believing her. He did take advantage of these people, but they was okay with it because they was getting paid good money in the early two. Now, Ace, he was holding their jobs and their money over their heads, but also violence too. At the same time, I gotta tell it like it is. He was threatening also. So he was threatening, holding violence over their heads also at the same time. Now, it's all about what this jury, and I'm gonna drop the link for Big Super too. He said, I don't know, was Big Super joking about him being out there? Jury shown Ventura's 2011 email detailing Combs' threats. So this is the jury again saw the email Cassie Ventura sent Capricorn Clark and her mother on December 23rd, 2011, under the alias Veronica Bain, referencing the threats from Sean Diddy Combs to Ventura and Kid Cudi. Clark testified she can't remember if she responded to the email, but they testified last week that the mother said, "Look, pay me $20,000." Diddy was like, "Pay me $20,000, or we're gonna release those freak off videos." You know what I mean? With Cassie. So and then the mother, Cassie's mother, said she had to take out a personal loan to pay the money. Now you could say that that's blackmail, which once again falls underneath RICO, guys. And let me see. All right, they was talking about getting beat up. Okay, so she wrote that he would be releasing sex tapes about me, and he would have someone else hurt me and Kid Cudi. Prosecutor, did you recall if you responded to this? I don't recall. So that's the email. So the email I just talked about, and was showed to the jurors, showing threats. That's what I'm saying. He was threatening them. Now they stayed around for whatever reason. They did stay around. Their jobs, their careers, being blackballed, or blackmailed, threatened. Did law enforcement call you? Question mark. Capricorn Clark. The arson investigators. Kid Cudi had given them my name. I hung up on them. I just wanted this to be over. What did Mr. Sean Diddy Combs say to you, Clark? He said, "I should kill you, biatches, and I should cut her face." So, what is the jury thinking, guys? What is the jury thinking? I'm just reading, I'm just trying to see. How was Cassie in the fetal position? Mr. Combs kicked her all the way to the street. She was crying silently. Um, where was he kicking her? Her back, her backside. Uh, where were you? 5 feet away. So this is around an incident when all right. What did Mr. Combs say to you? Capricorn Clark, he said, if you jump in, I'm going to F you up too. What did Rube do? Who is the security guard, the bodyguard? Nothing. Who did you call? I called D-Rock. I told him, tell your brother to stop Puff. He is kicking the out of her. So this was during the time of the Kid Cudi incident. And Diddy got mad and was kicking not Kid Cudi, but Cassie. What was Kid Cudi's reaction? Capricorn Clark says, mind blown. Objection. Jury will disregard. What happened at the house? He was kicking Cassie again and again. How was Cassie? Capricorn Clark in the fetal position. I read that, so I'm just going through. Where did you? All right. All right. How did Cassie respond? She said, okay, come get me. She was calm. Who drove you home? Ruben, who is the security of Diddy. Prosecutor, what did Mr. Combs then tell you? Capricorn Clark, to convince Kid Cudi not to say that it had been him at his house. I picked up Cassie. Okay, so all right. So where did you go? Capricorn Clark. We went to Kid Cudi's and tried to convince him not to file a police report. All right. So they went to Kid Cudi and told him don't file a police report. What did you tell them? Clark says that Puff came to my house with a gun. Prosecutor, what did you tell them? He said, question mark. Clark says, if you tell on him, he'll hurt us all. So this is just threats. This is all, she told the reason why she took Diddy to the Kid Cudi's house for that confrontation with Kid Cudi. And during that time, that car was burned down. She had been contacted by the arson investigators also. Kid Cudi had given them her name, So what are y'all thinking? Do y'all believe what Capricorn Clark is selling? Let me I dropped that link. Let me you know what? My fault. I didn't even press the button. Salute to the chat, says Jesse Shorts. Salute to the chat, Jesse Shorts. Man, they have turned on Diddy big time. Again, out of all of the killers and thugs Puffy had, he chose a drugged out, light-skinned woman. Now, remember, I said earlier, guys, before testimony started, Diddy's lawyers is trying to get Kid Cudi's testimony thrown out and expunged from the record because they're saying that DNA evidence they found at the car was of female DNA. What they found on the I guess the Molotov cocktail handle or whatever that burned down $140,000 Porsche that Diddy says that he had nothing to do with that night. They saying the evidence came back that it was DNA evidence that it was DNA of a female. So Diddy's lawyers want that portion of the testimony thrown out and not to be taken into consideration by the jury, guys. What do y'all believe? Now, firefighters, the fire department is supposed to be testifying today also, and they right now as you speak, they are cross-examining Capricorn Clark. The Diddy's team right now, as we speak, is cross-examining Diddy's team. Capricorn Clark. Kid Cudi said nothing about Diddy at his house talking to him. Yeah, they were on the phone. And Kid Cudi was headed to his house, but he got there. They were gone. Diddy and them were gone, but his dog was locked in the bathroom and his presents were open. You know, I don't like the Grinch who stole Christmas type thing. We know there's no evidence of Diddy being there because them rich seeds would have had footage. Now, like I said, it doesn't really have to. It don't have to be in a camera. It could just the jury could take the word of the witnesses and be like, you know what? Why would they lie about all of this stuff happening? Big Super, what up?
Oh man, yo, you can hear me?
Oh, loud and clear, bro.
Oh man, yo, Raze,
Oh, what
the
is
bitch,
going on?
the bitch is full of shit.
Ah,
I was at the trial, so a lot of niggas ain't gonna believe that I was there, but I'm gonna put you on though.
yeah,
All right, so first off, if you smoke, cigarettes or whatever you smoke, you can't go into the courtroom with a lighter. You heard? They're
right.
gonna tell you, yeah, no lighters and shit like that. They're gonna
That's expected.
count.
Yeah, I get that.
They're going any electronics you have, cell phone, anything with some type of digital shit. They're gonna put through the monitor. They're gonna take all that shit away from you and give you like a what do you call it? One of them poker chips that you see in the casinos. They're gonna give
Yes.
you one of those, and you just then they give you some shit. So there's like two overflow rooms. There's one on the 24th floor and one on the 23rd floor, and Puffy's on the 26th floor. So, cause I'm just saying this so that way niggas say if I'm capping,
Yeah, yeah. You're just describing,
yeah,
all right.
how the process work and how to get in.
Africa in the
Um,
building. All right, Africa.
yeah.
Africa
So
says
when
the
you,
nail in the coffin. Okay. All right,
yeah,
Africa.
so
Go ahead, go ahead.
Africa, you totally wrong, son. But I'm gonna put you on though. So, yeah, if you want to go to the main trial area on the 26th floor, like if you want to go see Puffy and shit, you gotta wait for them to go on a break, and then you run upstairs real quick when everybody's coming out, and then go in the courtroom and then come back out. If you want to see Puffy and whoever else is in the courtroom.
Right.
All right. So who I saw when I was there in the overflow room, I saw Lisa Evans. She was there. She was in me and
Okay.
her. She was probably like two pubes away from me and shit like that. Bitches looking at me. Um, for Brooklyn niggas, courtroom etiquette, my nigga. Yo, this is why niggas can't go where the main trial is at. Brooklyn.
Well, what happened?
Brooklyn. Yo, there was this one Brooklyn nigga behind me, son. Like every minute, you hearing this nigga going, shit, what? That's all this nigga was doing behind me, and like all the reporters, everybody in the room, just turning around, looking at this nigga like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Shut the fuck up. You hear what they saying? The court officer had to come and tap the nigga on the shoulder and say, yo, just keep, relax.
Yeah. Oh man.
And shit, right? So I'm there the whole time. This nigga doing that shit because he's sitting behind me too. So this nigga doing this shit all behind me, like when when she was testifying that Puffy was kicking the shit out of her and all that shit. Now the only reason I believe this bitch is testifying, because everything you read so far is I'll say 98% accurate. Everything from that report that whoever that from what you was reading from that
Yeah, inner city press. Yeah.
yeah, that's about 98% accurate. What she was saying, that's
Right.
90%. There's
Yeah.
like 2% of it he might have missed it or didn't, added in. But her testimony, as far as if you're inside the trial and you really listening to the trial, the prosecution have some element from her, from the way they're describe, the way the trial is going, from what I've been listening to.
Yeah.
Prosecution has some elements of racketeering, but it needs to fall. But you got to you got to see their whole entire case to see how this look, because this is probably like out of racketeering. Some of the elements from that, I'll say about 2% or 1%, 1%.
2% or 1%. You agree with that, Africa, in the chat?
It's like 1% of the racketeering, but most of it is just plain. It's just most of what the prosecution was going through or talking about was basically domestic violence. All this shit sound like domestic violence.
Now, this is what we've been saying. That's what we've been saying. I've been saying that during the first week of testimony.
You know, it's just the violence. Yeah, it's just the violence part and the use of drugs. As far as the threats go and all that, there's no police report. There's nothing that said he threatened these people.
Right. Now, how you believe her testimony? But she said that Diddy, I guess they convinced him not to file a police report, right? Or to this extent, or try to convince him not to. That's why there was no Kid Cudi. Trying to convince Kid Cudi not to file one.
Nah. I think the reason why she's testifying right now is because when you was reading out that there's a certain part that you read that will show that will tell you why she's testifying and why she's not being charged. Because she was the one who gave, when Puffy came to her house with the gun knocking on her door and told her, "Yo, go get dressed, bitch. We going over here to go kill this nigga."
Yeah.
Puffy didn't know where Cudi lived.
Right.
She knew where Cudi lived. So she knew that he was going over there to go cause harm to him. And she didn't call the police or do nothing to stop it.
You're right. I have it right here. Where was the gun? Clark said in his hand. I said I didn't want to go to Kid Cudi's house. He said, "I don't give a blank what you want. Get dressed." Prosecutor asks, "What concerns did you have?" Clark says he'd never come to my house before. Prosecutor, did you try to escape him? Clark says, "No, I got dressed." He got
now
to the house, to Kid Cudi's house. Yes,
exactly. See that part right there, Raze? Now you ask yourself, Raze, if Puffy's in this much of a rage and want to go kill this nigga, right? Right? Why the fuck leave all the way from the airport to go to your fucking house to go pick you up so that way you could be accessory to a murder? Does that make any fucking sense? If you have beef with a nigga, and you know where he lives, you know what I mean? Why would you go to your assistant to go pick up your assistant? She doesn't have any firearm training. She doesn't have any tactical training. She don't know how to fight.
Right.
And Puffy got his bodyguard with him. Why the fuck I'm gonna go get you unless you know where he lives at?
Right.
And
that's what.
And she took him to Cudi's house, point out where he lives at, point out his door, where the door, because they showed Cudi's address, the door and shit, and how long
the courtroom. Okay.
Yeah, and how long it takes from her house to get to Cudi's house. And they showed a map, like a Google map with the markers and shit to show you how long. Right. So the reason why she's only testifying against Puff, because I think the prosecutor threatened her that we will charge you with accessory to the attempted murder, because to attempted murder or whatever, or some type of shit. Some
they're up. They're up. Yeah, as a co-conspirator. In the RICO.
She showed him. Yeah, because she showed him where he lived. She showed him where Cudi lived at, and on top of that, she took him to the motherfucking house. She waited in the car. She knew he had a gun. She had all the opportunities to call the police, even when Puffy and the security left her alone in the car by herself. Instead of calling the police to say, "Yo, this nigga got a gun and he said he's gonna kill or cause harm to somebody," she called Cassie. She called Cassie, and mind you, she said she knew Kid Cudi too, so she had Kid Cudi's number. But she called Cassie because she knew Cassie was with Kid Cudi, and then she tried to tell Cassie to tell Kid Cudi that Puffy is looking for him and he have a gun and he's gonna kill him. Don't go home. We at his house now. And then she said she overheard Cudi in the background saying, "This nigga's at my house."
Yes.
And then before Cassie could tell this nigga, "Don't go to your house," He jumped in his car and shot over to his house real quick. And then she said that when Puffy came back from out of his house, he was sitting in the whip, and Kid Cudi pulled up next to next to the Escalade, and Kid Cudi pulled up next to the Escalade. He stood there for a minute. He saw Puff, and then he took off. And then Puff gave chase, and they lost. And then Kid Cudi made a few turns, and they lost him. But then they saw the police coming, and you know what I mean. Then she said Puffy went back into a calmer state, and then they went to some club or some shit. Yo, all that shit. Yo, first of all, if you listen, yo, you gotta really listen to her testimony when you get there. All that fake tear shit is bullshit. All that, yeah. She made Kid Cudi look like a bitch. She said this nigga Cudi left Cassie on, and he was mad as hell, and he was coming. He said she could hear the car, Cudi's car, zooming up the block, and then he came to a hard stop and he pulled up right next to Puffy's car outside his house, and he saw Puff, and he took off.
He seen Puffy off. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He pulled up next to the Escalade where Puff's car was at. He looked in the car, he saw Puff, and then he took off.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, there's certain. That's why I said it's like 90% accurate, 98% accurate. So there's certain shit she was saying in the testimony.
So hold on. Now all 50 people. Hey guys, hit the like button. This guy, Big Super, he was in the courtroom today, and he actually witnessed firsthand the testimony of Capricorn Clark. Guys, so this is the guy. He was. They on break now. They have broke.
They went to break. That's another thing, son. Puffy's lawyer is gonna destroy this bitch on the stand.
Did he start already? Didn't he?
No. Here's what happened though. Here's what happened after that last part that you just read.
Yeah.
And it was like 11:30. That part right there was like 11:30. That's when the prosecution rests. Okay. And the judge was like, this is a perfect time for us to go take a break. But Diddy's lawyer jumped up and said, "Oh no, Your Honor, I just want to ask you some questions. Don't worry."
Right, I did see that. I seen that, and that's why I thought they were questioning her. So what happened? Right?
The judge was like, "You're gonna have plenty of opportunity." But Diddy's lawyer was so. That nigga was so ready to burn this bitch on the stand.
Oh, so you think? So when they come back from break, when he finally does get a chance to cross-examine her, he's going to let her destroy her. All right.
Because I'm on my little break right now. You know what I mean? Because I was doing some work down there in the area, so I said, "Fuck it, let me go over there."
Okay.
So he's gonna destroy her. I was listening to that testimony. He is going to fucking destroy this bitch. Because I know the same shit I'm telling you right now, to see the way the prosecutor was asking her, yeah, so Diddy came and pick you up and and then he told you get dressed because you're going over to his house to go kill Kid Cudi. Why didn't the DA ask, did Puffy knew where Kid Cudi lived at this time? The DA didn't ask no shit like that. The DA tried to skip over that shit to act like, yeah, she didn't know. Like Puffy knew where he lived already, and he came and got her.
Right.
Puffy did not. I don't think Puffy knew where Kid Cudi lived at that time, and she's the one who showed him where Kid Cudi lived. And if she knows where Kid Cudi lived, that means she knows that Cassie been cheating on Puff with Kid Cudi for a while.
Yeah.
This is why Diddy was furious with her, because this is the thing, right? I don't know if you read this part in a testimony yet, but in a testimony she said when Cassie got with Kid Cudi in 2011, I believe, or somewhere around 2011, that Cassie texted her and told her that she's with Kid Cudi. She and Kid Cudi dating. So she told Cassie, delete this message.
I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, she told Cassie, delete this message. And the prosecutor asked her, why did you tell her to delete this message? Because she said the phone that Cassie was using, Diddy bought it for her and he's paying the bill. And he more than likely is going to see it. And if he see this, he's going to kill all of us. And then Diddy's lawyer stand up and told her, objection.
And yeah.
Then the judge told him to disregard that shit. Just to answer the question, bitch. So she went out and she took Cassie to Walmart to go get a burner phone so that way they could communicate. So that means this whole time, this bitch, you working for Puffy as his, because remember, she and Cassie's not best friends. She's just Cassie's manager / creative director or whatever.
Right.
And Diddy gave her that job after he fired her the first time and brung her back. He gave her that job, to do that for her. So this whole time, this bitch she knew Cassie was fucking around, and she knew how Diddy is. Instead of telling Diddy about the affair or what was going on, she was actually helping her cover it up.
Yeah, and there was some confusion because the last week, it seemed like Cassie was the one had told where Kid Cudi lived, but now coming out that Capricorn.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what I thought too. Right? See niggas. That's why you gotta go down there, because some of the shit that these niggas write, they be missing certain shit. But she knew where Cassie was at all time. She knew who Cassie was with. She knew where Kid Cudi lived at. She took Puffy over to Kid Cudi's house. Because if you listen to Cassie's original testimony, you would have swore that Diddy just went over Kid Cudi's house on his own, like nobody with him.
Right.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
I think the prosecution is going to offer. I think within the middle of the trial, prosecution, they're going to offer Diddy a deal. And the deal is going to be 10 to 15 years probation with time served with 5 years monitored supervision. And the reason why they're going to give him that deal is because this trial doesn't have nothing to do with Puffy. This trial has zero to do with Puffy. The only reason why this trial is on right now is because Puffy wouldn't give up a politician.
Guys, hit the like button. Do y'all agree with Big Super? He was in that courtroom. He's hearing. He's gonna go back inside, but he knows what's going on.
Oh no, I'm done for the day.
You want to hit the defense? The defense.
No, I have to listen to the defense because I know how they're gonna tear that bitch up already. I've been in too many courtrooms to see how they gonna do this.
Well, let me ask you this about the DNA. Now they said the defense said they found DNA at the burning car that was from a female.
I'm gonna tell you.
They want Kid Cudi's testimony thrown out because, look, there's no proof that Diddy burned that car.
It's not that they don't want his testimony thrown out. No. The prosecution don't want that part of the testimony to come out. The reason being is because out of those females, the only one who have access to that nigga car is Cassie. And if they found out Cassie burned Kid Cudi's car, then her testimony is weak. And the government would say that testimony is weak.
Right. That was interesting.
I think Cassie's the one that burned that nigga car.
Yeah, because I was like, after hearing it today, I was like, well, was it Capricorn's DNA? Because she's a female. I guess she was there with Diddy. Would Cassie burn the car?
Yeah. Cassie burned the car because Kid Cudi did some pussy shit. I think Cassie's the one to burn the car. That's why when Diddy's lawyer was asking Kid Cudi on the stand, when the police did a DNA test, wasn't it a female fingerprint? And then that's when the prosecutor stand up and they went to the sidebar to try to not bring that part of the testimony into the trial.
Yeah.
They would have found out that it was Cassie who burned that nigga car down. Because Cassie was mad that he didn't, like Kid Cudi, not only pussied out when he saw Puff and ran off, but also did some did some shit where, she burned the nigga car down. And I think that's why that's another reason I think Kid Cudi didn't press charges against Puff for coming to his crib.
Right.
The bitch that burned the nigga car down.
Interesting. Hit the like button, guys. Big Super reporting live. He was just in there. He just got out.
Yeah. But this trial got nothing to do with racketeering. This trial have everything to do with destroying Puff's image, isolating him from other celebrities in the business, making an example of him to other celebrities that if you don't cooperate with us, we're gonna destroy you financially, socially, emotionally, mentally. We're gonna destroy you. We're gonna destroy every part of your image. We're gonna tear your image down to the bone. And the prosecution is winning that case right now. That's the case the prosecution is winning. As far as they're doing it. They're helping destroying the nigga shit even more. But as far as the racketeering case going, that case they don't give a fuck about. But if they win it, hey, we got more leverage now.
Right.
They still, if they win the case, they're gonna offer Puff no jail time and probation. But I'm gonna throw something at everybody in the room, and it's gonna fuck your head up. It's gonna fuck your head up. I know about the business, how this shit work. I'm gonna throw something at y'all. So, prosecutors want leverage over Puff.
Okay.
So, close to the middle or the end of the trial, they will offer him that deal of 10 years to 15 years probation with 5 years supervision and time served.
Okay.
Reason they want to offer him that is because they want leverage on him in order for him to be a government employee. If you know what I'm getting at.
Okay. Yeah.
They want him to be an insider snitch.
A snitch, yeah. So,
but they want him to but Puffy got more access to politicians than anybody else. Cassie is the rotten fruit. They always say the hanging fruit. Cassie is the rotten fruit on the ground that they use to find a tree of hanging fruits where they could pick from the hanging fruit to get to the top fruit. And this is how the prosecution is laying their shit down. There is a government employee that nobody looked at that gave the government enough information to where they believe Puffy had videotapes of entertainers, videotapes of politicians, or payoffs to politicians. There was a government employee in the rap industry that gave federal prosecutors this information to where they approached Puff.
Oh yeah?
Yes. But he was hanging around in Puff around the same time. They were partying together. They were in Miami. They was at pool party. They was at the Black Excellent affair. They was at all this stuff. They were so close together. People thought they were fucking.
Oh wow.
Who you think that is, Raze?
Wow.
I want you to really think about it. Who you think that is?
Who do you think that is? Bipolar in the building. Who you think that is? Bipolar.
Yo, chat. Type in the board who you
Okay.
think was a a rapper who was Yeah, there you go.
Oh, he said Yerp says
That-
Meek
That's
Mills.
it. Cause I'm gonna tell you why Meek Mills was a government employee. Meek Mills at the time was on probation for 10 fucking years.
Man.
He was with Puff, Jay-Z, all these millionaires. How did Meek Mill get so close to all these billionaires? The nigga had one album. One solid album.
Right.
How did he get so close to all these billionaires? He got close to Jay-Z. He got close to the 76ers owner. He got close to Puffy. He got close to Rick Roy. He got close to all these people. He was at all these parties. People thought Puffy was fucking him the way he was all up on Puff.
Right.
He knows about the drugs. Meek Mills was he was on probation and getting arrested for breaking his probation, but they always let him go.
Yeah. Well, so guys, y'all agree? Diddy is gonna he's gonna get probation. He's gonna, he's gonna be on probation for 10
They're
years.
gonna offer him that probation. I guarantee you they're gonna offer him that probation.
Like a Young Thug type situation.
Yep.
Young Thug type.
Young Thug is in the same predicament as Meek Mills. The government he's a government employee at this point right now. Young Thug is gonna help the government. He's gonna get close to a lot of billionaires and politicians and all that. See, that's why Meek Mills was doing this activism shit, talking about, I want to change the law, I want to do this and all this, da 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 da. He's getting close to politicians. Puffy have close ties to Eric Adams. Remember,
Right.
they've been prosecuting Eric. They started prosecuting or looking to Eric Adams in 2004. No, 2 years before they brung Diddy to trial. They were investigating Adams like 2 years before Diddy trial, and they came at Diddy to help them to take down Adams. He refused. That's why you're gonna hear people saying, "Oh, Diddy ain't snitching. Diddy ain't snitching."
Big Super is putting it all together, guys. Y'all agree with Big Super? He was live. He was in that courtroom. He's joining us now, kind enough to join us now and tell us what he heard inside the courtroom, what he seen. How were the jurors? Did you get a view of the jurors out in the courtroom?
No, you
How would
can't
they
see the
see
jurors. You can't see the jurors.
Okay.
The only person you can see is people on the stand, and it's a TV, right? But it's like a little piece that you really need to sit up front to see. I thought they was gonna give you a big screen, but it's a little TV and shit. That's it. Like one fucking TV in the room.
That's wild. You would think they would have a bigger by now. Like these days,
Right.
big.
Yeah. It's about I say about a 65-inch TV, but you see how your image is right here. You see how that little box? That's how. So you really can't get the only close up of a face you can see is whoever is on the stand. Everybody else is like little tiny people in the back.
Tiny people, so you can't really get you can't get the facial expressions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
how's Diddy looking?
Oh, that nigga's all grayed up, man. Gray like a motherfucker, man. You thought that nigga looked like the Ben from the right, Uncle Ben from the rice box.
Oh man, Uncle Ben's rice box.
Yeah,
The photo. Yeah.
Did he look like Steven and Jingo, man?
Oh man, Big Super, aka the Punisher. Hey, yeah, the Punisher. Yeah, he testified last week. That stripper. That shout out to what up, Tony? What up, Tony? Yeah, what up? Yeah, man.
Oh, believe you me, they want Adams, son. That prosecutor want Adams.
Be there. Diddy
because
to key to the city back. Well, yeah, but yeah, Adams, yeah, he actually bring it back though. But
exactly because he wanted to disassociate himself with Diddy. I don't think Adams is the one who actually initiated taking the key back. I think Diddy did that to put the keys back because you don't get the keys to the city because hey you're a cool guy. You know what I mean? Oh, we like you. No, that means Diddy made some campaign contribution
contributions, yeah,
to Adams' campaign, and you know the whole thing with Adams is misconduct. You know what I mean? Taking bribery money. So
yeah, yeah.
they want to know what Diddy bought with his campaign contribution from Adams or what Adams gave him or whatever. It doesn't have nothing to do with any freak off tapes or no shit like that. And all the this shit is crazy, son. I think they want Adams so that way they could go to get a senator because Adams got shit on the senator. Sidebar, for real, Africa. That's what's going on, son. That's what's going on.
Salute the bipolar talk. Yeah, salute you
But
bipolar
back
talk.
to It's Capricorn though, man. I mean, like, if I was the defense attorney, honestly, the first question I'll have for this bitch is, you know, when you went to work for Diddy, um, was the name of his company Good Boys? Was the name of his company Happy Boys? His company Nice Boys? Was the name of the because it's in the name, so you know what you to expect. Like, come on, the name of the company is Bad Boys.
Wow, you know what, Big Super, that's a good point. Now, what in the beginning she said that Diddy said, "Yo, you used to work for Suge Knight, and so if something happens, I might have to kill you." Do you believe Diddy would say that to her right when she first started working there? And she actually,
No,
that was a big testimony right there.
no, no, no. And if I probably say he probably said it in a joking way or
In a
joking.
joking way, you think? Okay, if he was to
Or,
say that.
or like just it's like sometimes you talking to somebody. Oh, you was over there. Yeah, I might whoop your ass coming over here with that bullshit. Don't come over here with this bullshit. Fuck you up about some shit like that. But just talking to be talking. Because why would you go work with somebody who just threatened your life?
That's wild.
That
That's
don't make no
wild.
sense.
Oh man.
There's a lot of shit in a testimony that didn't make sense. Like if you listen to it, like you really need to be there to listen to this shit. It just didn't make sense.
Right.
You was terrified for your life. No, the bitch said the last draw for her was when Diddy pushed her out the house because she went to the island and shit, and she woke up in the morning and she wanted some breakfast and she asked the chef is there any turkey bacon left, and the chef looked at her and said, "Yo, bitch, you see any fucking turkey bacon?" And she said she told the chef, "Yo, I hate working here." And then the chef went and told Diddy, who was outside by the pool, saying, "Yo, this bitch said she don't like working here." And Diddy came and pushed her out the house and said, "You don't like working here? Then get the fuck out of here." And then she left, and she said she left. She left, and that was her last draw. She couldn't take it no more. That was it. She was done. But then she went back later on to go work for him. Does that make any fucking sense?
That's no. Well,
When is the last draw? The last draw is when they got tired of you and fired you, bitch.
Guys in the chat, y'all, this is Big Super. He was in there. He heard it all. He
Nigga
heard
fired
it all.
the bitch like fucking three. Nigga fired the bitch like 3 or 4 times, and she still came back. Who the fuck does that?
Now,
And then
well, all right. No, let me let people know. She said that, hey, he basically got her blackball, and she couldn't make no money, so she went back to him. But he said that she won't be working close with him. She'll be working in like another department where she's not
No,
working. What do you think about that?
no. She said, you know, she came back. The second time she came back was when she had her own little clothing line or whatever, and Puff liked what she was doing, and told her, "Yo, come work with me." And then she told Puff she don't want to work for him. She want to work with him. And then Puff told her, "Yo, you're gonna have, you know, I'm gonna put you in this executive. This I want you to do this for Sean John or whatever. Put her in this executive position or whatever." And she said you didn't have to work next to him and this and that because you know of it because she was scared. Kind of bullshit.
Okay. Well, and T. Williams, yeah, you missed some good stuff. T. Williams, big super. He was inside the court. That's the guy that's on the screen right now, T. Williams, and he was in there. He heard the testimony, and it was some.
Yo, shout out to Lisa Evans, you old wrinkled bitch.
Oh, who's that? You said
Lisa Evans.
Lisa Evers from she was from Hot 97. Right? Wait,
oh man, she had on a plaque of makeup, red lipstick on, I think a red jacket on. She's old as a motherfucker, yo. But on TV, you thought it was like she looking younger, but nah, son, that age is crack. She's cracking bad.
Oh man,
with makeup filters and shit. And there was a fine ass reporter up in there. Oh my god, this bitch was fine. Yo, this fucking reporter bitch was so fine. I was kicking it to her in the lobby when they cut for break. You know, we was at the elevator and shit, and she was talking. She was like, "This is a very interesting case, don't you think?" I was like, "Yeah." And then, you know, we're chopping. I was like, "Yo, all I could see is how fucking fine this bitch looks, son. Yo, this bitch is looking fine, son."
Was she black or light skin black?
Light skin joint, son. Little yellow.
I think was she a YouTuber?
Nah.
Oh, she was a YouTuber.
She had a press badge on and shit.
Yeah, because they let YouTubers in here too. So there's this girl named Tisha Tells. I don't know if you know who that is. Tisha Tells.
Yeah, she was there. She had on all black.
Okay.
If she had on all black, there was like a few bitches in there all black, and they were taking notes and shit. There's some sexy bitches in there, so I ain't gonna hold you. All my niggas, yo, we trying to bag some bitches, man. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bitches in that Diddy. Yo, word of my mother, son, they got some bad bitches down there. Yo, son, I had this little light skin joint reporter said, yo, this bitch was fire, nigga. Yo, man, I was tongue tied, son, how bad this bitch was, son. Yo, for real, son. Yeah. Oh, D-Rock. D-Rock gonna testify.
Wait a minute. Will, yeah. It's they would have to call up D-Rock to testify. They got it.
They're gonna call up D-Rock. They're gonna call up D-Rock and his brother. But
he flips on Diddy, like, because you're gonna testify for the prosecution. They'll probably turn him up. Man, that's gonna be huge, big super. You gotta make that one huge.
It's gonna be pretty much the same thing. Which was Capricorn right here, because if you got D-Rock as a security and D-Rock's brother, which is a security and shit, if they were part of all of this, going to Kid Cudi's house, threatening employees with guns and all this other shit. Yeah, Ruben. Thank you, Ruben. D-Rock's brother, Ruben. Ruben was mostly, at the Kid Cudi part of it, and seeing Cassie getting the ass whoop and all this other shit, and didn't intervene or nothing like that. I think Ruben, the prosecutor, I don't think he's gonna give a damaging testimony to Puff, because the defense attorney will kill him on the stand, because they going as a juror, and you sitting there and you hearing this man was there doing all this. Why wasn't he Why wasn't he indicted with Puff since this is a racketeering charge?
And that's been the question. Where are the other co-conspirators? Well, I think they are testifying. I think they are the ones testifying that's getting immunity now.
Yeah, because if you listen,
Unindicted co-conspirators though.
yeah,
Unindicted co-conspirators. Yeah.
exactly. If you listen to Capricorn's testimony, technically she should be indicted too because she knew how she's from her testimony. He was this violent, loved beating up everybody, fucking up his staff, threatening to kill people, wanting to do all this shit with people and all this. But yet you was part of it. You went to you showed him where this nigga lived at. You stood in the car. You making all these phone calls. You knew this bitch Cassie was out here, fucking cheating on this nigga. Which is another crazy shit to me too, because why would I, I'm trying to get an understanding, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, Raze.
Whatever.
If Cassie used to call up male escort to fuck her and make Diddy watch it, why would Diddy be so tight and gun hole want to kill the bitch over fucking with Kid Cudi?
That's weird. That is a weird. I mean, but the men's psyche, you getting high and stuff. Your brain is kind of working differently. You know what I mean?
No, but if you're a jealous nigga and you don't want this bitch to be with nobody, this is your bitch. You jealous as a motherfucker. But why would you bring any type of nigga into your bedroom to come fuck your broad? Or sit there and watch your broad getting fucked by niggas and getting pissed on by niggas, drinking piss, and you kiss. Yo, who the fuck will make it, niggas pissing in your bitch mouth and you gonna kiss this bitch later? How that shit make sense? And you love this bitch?
I mean, he's with him for a while.
Cassie manipulated Diddy.
Oh wow! So you think she manipulated Diddy and
100%. She manipulated.
Oh wow!
Nigga. Because niggas don't go crazy like this over bitches. Bitches know how to manipulate niggas. And that video when she was getting that ass kicked in the hotel, she played. She acted that whole fucking scene out. She knew where the cameras was. She knew that whole floor had cameras. The phone that Diddy took from her, it was not her phone. It was his phone. The shit that was in the bag, it was not her. That was she took Diddy's shit and put it in the bag.
Right.
Why wait for a fucking elevator and you could take the stairs? If you're in such fear for your life and you want to get out of there, wouldn't it make sense to just, fuck this elevator, this nigga might come out, he's in the shower? The staircase is right there. She never used it.
Well, T. Williams, he has 10 lawyers. He's hired like 10 lawyers right now. He's been hiring lawyers every other week, it seems like. Yeah. So
if you listen to the case, this had nothing. It's got probably like a 1% element of racketeering, and that's just the violence. But you see, the violence is all, the evidence, the violence is towards one person. That's the only evidence the prosecutor have at this moment, from what I've seen, and it's we call it focused towards Cassie. Capricorn, she's saying he was violent to her and shit like that. There's no video evidence and nothing saying that showing that nigga was violent to her. So that's why the little one tiny fraction of a point, you know what I mean, goes to Cassie as far as towards the part of racketeering, the violence part. Everybody's saying they've seen Diddy with, this bitch Capricorn saying she's seen Diddy with guns and all this other shit. That's wild, Diddy moving around like that by him, with just one security with a gun on him. That shit just don't make no sense.
You're not buying what the witness is saying. So if you was juror number 13, you would find, so far up to now, we're not saying because it's going to last like another 3 weeks, more testimony from both sides. You're saying if you was juror number 13, how would you rule if it was the end today? You giving Diddy 15 years to life?
Nah, nah. If the trial should end today, he'd be off. He'd be off.
You would hang the jury. You would be the jury. You'll be the juror that says
I
not
think
guilty.
the jury already made their mind up. From the, when you run it, because I just came off. I was on a jury last month for a criminal case, and I can tell you right now, when the jury is bored, the prosecution is going to lose their case. When the jury is focused and alert, the defense is going to lose the case. And from what I'm seeing, the jury's from what I could tell, the jury's bored, because if I'm bored, this shit is bored. I'm bored. The jury must be bored.
So you saying that the jury, they're losing the juries like because of the boring type. So you saying it's not exciting enough to hold the jury's interest and the jurors' interest, and that could be hurtful.
Basically, the jury's thinking just like the Brooklyn nigga that was sitting behind me. Oh, word. Oh, word. Oh. That's how it Hey, yo, I'm going to tell you, I don't know who that Brooklyn nigga was, but I'm telling you, come to court with some fucking etiquettes, man.
Well, the person you've been talking to in the chat, Africa, is on the stage right now. What up, Africa?
Bro, good. Yo, what's up?
Man, chilling, man. How y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, good, man. You hearing what Big Super's saying? He was in that courtroom. Now you disagree. Big Super said he would not, if it was the end today, if he was a juror, he would not find them guilty.
The jury already made their mind up. They're gonna find him not guilty.
What you
So
say,
if you're to ask Super to give you about the profile of at least two of the jurors, he probably wouldn't be able to give you the profile of at least two of the jurors.
No, but I could tell you from somebody that.
So let me give you the profile. Let me give you the profile of the jurors, because they're the ones who are going to be making the decision at the end of the day. So if you don't know the profile of them, it's kind of hard for you to say that he's going to get off. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on, because you asked me a question. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I just came off of a juror. I was a juror myself a month ago. Last month, I was a juror myself in a criminal case and stuff like that. So when as a juror, when you're sitting there and you listen to some of the case, now I'll tell you, the prosecution will make the defendant sound like the most vicious person on earth. But then once you hear the defendant's attorney, they will crush it. They will crush everything that was said. Now, the reason why I said that the jurors already made up their mind to this point that they're going to find him not guilty is because the first day they made up their mind and found you guilty. Now that this trial is going on, and from me personally sitting in there and listening to what's going on, not listening to what's going on the news, because the news, when I watch YouTube, I see YouTubers and the news is saying, "Oh, they're killing Diddy." Diddy's done. But when you listen to certain YouTubers, they say, "Oh, Diddy's winning." But then when you go for yourself and sit down there, you say, "Oh, you alone." If you go down there and sit and listen to some of these testimonies, it doesn't matter whose testimony. Just listen to one testimony, and you get a feel for the case itself. When you're in the courtroom and you see, you get a real strong feeling of the case itself. You know what I mean? I went in there with no prejudice. I went in there, I didn't give a fuck if the nigga was guilty. I just wanted to see, what was the hype about. But then once I sat down, I'm start listening to a testimony, and I'm like, yo, listen, man, they gonna fucking destroy you. When you had a defense attorney, even though the judge said we going on break, we got cause they go to lunch at 12 and come back at 1 or 1:30, depending on how long the judge want to give them. But when you have a prosecutor with 30 minutes left, a defense attorney with 30 minutes left, eager to go after this bitch, that means they're about to destroy her. and I seen it. I seen it with my own personal eyes. Seen defense attorney go after these witnesses on the bench and kill them. Now,
They are questioning her right now, by the way, as we speak. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. Big Super was just in there. He left out of the courtroom. He's kind enough to come up here and tell us what he's seen and give his opinion. Africa does not agree with Big Super, but they are questioning right now. They are back in the courtroom, and Diddy's defense team is questioning the Capricorn lady right now.
I'll say too, Africa, there is one juror in there who is steadfast. Whether they see him as guilty or see him as innocent, there is one fucking juror in there who's gonna hold up the jury for a day. He's gonna hold up the jury for one day. They got that one. All juries have it. I've been on plenty of juries before. All juries have it. They have that one nigga who's gonna hold up the fucking case for one day. Everybody's ready to go home right now. Everybody's ready to get this shit over with. But you do have that one fucking juror that if everybody say he's guilty, he's gonna say, nah, he's not innocent.
He's gonna be that guy. You agree with that?
You gotta prove, and everybody, all 11 other jurors gotta prove to that one nigga that he's not guilty.
Yeah, easy on the F-bombs. Easy on the F-bombs. OG Ben Dougie says, yes, you're right. Easy on the F-bombs. Now Africa, what you got to add?
Basically, we already know that they have 12 jurors.
Mm-hmm.
Eight of them are men, 4 of them are women. I'll give you a profile of some of them, and I'll let everybody come up with their own conclusion. So we have one of them who's 31-year-old. He's a male. He's from Manhattan, and he's an investment analyst. So he does finance and stuff. And then we got a second guy who's 39 years old. He's a child care social worker who deals with domestic violence.
Okay.
And then we also have another male who's from the Bronx, who's a correctional. He works at the jails. He does correctional facilities. Correctional officer. Then, yeah, go ahead.
I probably know him.
Yeah, they're not giving out the names and stuff, obviously for good reasons, but they're just giving out their profiles. And then the fourth guy is a 51-year-old guy who has a PhD in molecular biology, right? And then the sixth guy, he just used to work for a bank. And then let's see, who's the other guy? And then there's one girl who used to work in and then there's another guy who's a massage therapist.
Okay.
And then there's one girl who works in the deli, one of the delis in the Bronx. And then the other girl is works in a nursing home.
Okay.
And then I think the other juror is a physician assistant.
All right.
Yes.
Now, from what you just said, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you 2 people who's gonna find who already made up their mind not guilty. Off the rip. I'm gonna tell you the two people who already made up their mind not guilty: the correction officer and the domestic abuse counselor. Those 2 already made up their mind. He's not guilty.
Okay.
Reason why? Because as the correction officer, they know know patterns. They know what they know what to look for when somebody's lying. They know what to look for when somebody's not being deceived. They're actually between the correction officer and the psychologist, they're probably the only 2 those 2 probably definitely taking notes.
Yeah.
And as far as the domestic counselor who deal with battered women and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? They both gonna use their experience to know when they're being manipulated and who's the manipulator and who's the real abuser. Because sometimes niggas can beat up their girl and all this other stuff, but a lot of times people don't know is that because he's being abused by the girl herself. And when I mean abused by the girl herself, I mean mentally drive this person. This person probably wasn't, you got some people, you got some guys who would be like, yo, I should slap the shit out of that bitch or this and that, but never acted on it.
But don't forget that when it comes to that school of thought, that's why the government brought in Dr. Hughes from Cornell so that she came and testified about the whole Stockholm
And
syndrome.
that's why, exactly, and that is a perfect example of why that jury who's a domestic violence, she already made up her mind because she knows exactly what that doctor is talking about, but she knows that the doctor is leaving out some shit as well. Because that doctor was leaving out some shit.
Like
And and another thing, the jury have answers. They want to ask some of the people that come on the stand, but they can't ask them that. So they got to hold that in, and they just got to use their experience and know what's being left out and what's not being said. And that's why I believe that the counselor is the one already made up her mind, not guilty. The correction officer already made up his mind, not guilty. Now, the third one, which is leaning more towards not guilty, because his profession ain't come into play yet, is the financial person. Is the financial, the guy who's the financial person. His part of the trial haven't come in yet. The money part, and if the money part doesn't come into his part of the trial, what's going to happen is he's also going to go not guilty. So you got two strong not guilties, which is the correction officer and the counselor. Those are the two strongest not guilty, but they're not. But even those two, they don't have a lot of influence over the jury. They have probably the least amount of influence over the jury because one.
Let me ask you
quick. I'm gonna finish up. Even though that's their profession, and shit, they cannot bring their profession into it.
Of course. But let me ask you this question. Would you agree that they've already proven the drugs, the conspiracy and the possession and the trafficking of drugs? Would you agree that he's going down for that one?
No, they did not prove that. I'm going to tell you why they didn't prove that case with the drugs. Hold on. I'm going to tell you why they didn't prove it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because the amount of drugs that they confiscated from him, these are all personal use of drugs. These are all personal uses, and he's not transporting any drugs to go sell it. Matter of fact, when he gets to certain places, there's other people who facilitate getting the drugs.
Yeah, that's part of the RICO.
Yeah, other people, but they're not co-defendants as well in the RICO if they facilitate, because everybody
They got immunity. That's why Judge Kaplan asked for immunity before he came and testified that Diddy was telling him to buy the drugs, man.
Mm-hmm. But either way, these are all personal use. So it's
not all personal use.
It is personal use because
Cassie and everybody is. It's like Cassie. Yeah. He gave Cassie some of the drugs, right?
But here's the thing: personal uses, right?
Personal use doesn't mean that you get to use cocaine, though. You still get charged.
No, you get charged for using, but this is a first-time offender. You know what I'm saying? So he's supposed to get drug court. He goes to drug court for that.
Well, actually, this is how the feds look at it. Mm-hmm. This guy is so drugged up, and he needs the drugs so bad, even to the point where when we have an agreement that he has to turn himself in, the day before we're supposed to go and pick him up, he has drugs in his hotel room. Like, that's just ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's an addict.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So that doesn't have nothing to do with RICO. How you being an addict have anything to do with a RICO trial?
Being an addict being a defense for having coke and ketamine.
It's not a defense. No, you're not getting what I'm saying. It's not a defense.
So I'm asking you.
It's not a defense. No, it's not a defense. But it's not part of a RICO.
Yes, it is, man.
No, it's not. It's not part of.
It's right.
Drugs that you use for personal use It's not part of a RICO.
For personal use.
What then? What was he doing with it?
It was for people who came to the freak offs and other people wanted to use it as well.
Who? So, what people? What people?
Cassie says he what do you call, they use some of the what
Cassie used some. Okay, Cassie used some. Who else?
is it your person?
But who went and got the drugs? Didn't Cassie testify on the stand? Hold on. Didn't Cassie testify on the stand? If you go back, didn't Cassie testify on the stand that she was the one who went and got the drugs?
Listen, when you're doing a RICO, just like the big
No, don't skip over that part.
I'm answering
Answer that part of the question. Didn't Cassie say she was the one who got
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So that's how the RICO works, man. When you're the boss and you're the kingpin, you don't go and pick up the cocaine yourself.
Come on. How you gonna put you? Now you off now. Now you off, my nigga. Now you off because you can't. Yeah, because now you saying Diddy got the drugs. Hold on. You said Diddy got the drugs and Diddy was handing out the drugs.
People, listen. The fact that
you just said a minute. Hold on. You just said a minute ago Diddy got the drugs and Diddy was handing it out. So that he's part of racketeering.
The fact that you use people in your organization to buy drugs in itself is part of the RICO. The bosses and all the big men never go and buy the drugs themselves. You have the lower people go and buy the drugs. And so the main reason why they came up with the RICO was for them to be able to associate the boss without the boss even being there or even having a phone call, at some point without their knowledge. You understand that? That's when the conspiracy and all of that comes in. There's a reason why the feds have a 97% conviction rate. These people are not coming over here to come and waste like the taxpayer dollars time or anything like that. It's very
well. Now I'm gonna correct you on that as well. You know what I mean? I'm gonna correct you on that as well. Like I said before, this case have nothing to do with RICO or Puffy's personal life. This case have because Puffy refused to the feds to help the feds out to help convict Adams. Now, when you said the government ain't going to spend all this money unless they got a 90% rate and all this other shit, listen, we could go back to Young Thug case. They spend millions of dollars, just to get this nigga on probation, so that way.
The Young Thug case was
but yeah, either way, this case ain't going nowhere. Haven't come close to racketeering yet. Like I said, there's some little small elements of it, but not a full element. Now, Diddy's a crackhead. Basically, all the prosecution have been able to prove is that he is a crackhead. He went to rehab and all this other shit. Cassie is still using fucking drugs. She's still using drugs while she's pregnant. But there's a part. But I think Diddy told his lawyers not to pressure on the drugs, because if they press on the drugs, they could prove that the bitch is still using while she's pregnant. That's why she's talking about, when they asked her what drugs are using, she said, for my head, headaches and shit like that. Come on, no.
Cassie is not on trial for drugs or anything. Nobody cares about that, man.
No, everybody cares about that because if you listen to the testimony, if you listen to the prosecution, hold on, if you listen to the prosecution, all of this shit is surrounded around Cassie. All of this shit is surrounded around Cassie. Every witness that came up on the stand talked about Cassie. Cassie's in this. Every witness. Name one witness that didn't get on the stand and say something about Cassie. I'll probably give you one. I'll give you one myself that probably didn't say, but I didn't listen to the full testimony. Was the law enforcement guys. They're the only ones who haven't heard anything, but I believe they did. But
so let me ask you this
part of it is.
Are you gonna deny that Puff is gonna also go down for just simple prostitution?
I'm gonna deny. They haven't proved that. He didn't hire. He didn't hire the. Remember those the male sex worker, the male sex worker. He never admitted to being a male prostitute.
All right, man.
Did he? Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Did the male prostitute? Did the masseuse or the male dancer admitted to understand or say anything understand that he was a prostitute?
Man,
they booked him to be a prostitute. Answer the question, yes or no. It's a yes or no. Did he say it? Did he say he was a male prostitute?
my brother, they have.
See, when niggas can't answer simple questions like that,
it's not even about that particular person. They have multiple people.
Multiple people, like who? Name one. I haven't heard one person got on that stand and say yes. These hired me as a prostitute.
So you saw the pictures. You saw the pictures of all the people that they released.
But right on the screen, the Punisher, guy.
But you saw all those 15, 16 people. Don't worry. As time goes on, everybody's gonna come and testify.
Yeah, but you see, that's my point. That's my point. You can't say he's guilty of prostitution and all this stuff, and then you want to tell me later, oh, you got to wait till the rest of the trial.
The man said he was paid, right?
Paid for what? What did he say he was paid for? Did he say he would pay for sex?
Of course, man.
See, this is the type of shit that people need to understand. Facts from your opinion.
Okay.
Because what you just said was an opinion. It wasn't a fact. The man got on the stand.
Let me just ask you a question. Are you not aware that so far there have been 2 or 3 people who've come to the stand who said they've been paid to come and have sex with Cassie? And you're not aware
no one said they were paid.
So you're not aware about it. All right.
No one said it.
But now you're not today, but the last week, the Punisher.
That's what I'm saying. He's not aware of it. That's why.
No. Punisher. Listen, I listened to Punisher's testimony. He never said he was paid to have sex with her.
Well, he said he got 700 to like 1,300.
Yes. For what though? What did he say he got paid for?
Who sex up Cassie, and while Diddy watch, and he couldn't get.
He said he was paid. He was an exotic dancer. You're laughing, but he said he was an exotic dancer. He came normally. They asked him when he comes over, what does he do for his clients? He said he normally dance for his clients and this and that. But then he said Cassie, not Diddy. Cassie told him to take off his clothes and to have, because her husband liked to watch her have sex, with other men. And then when they asked him, the company you work for, the company that booked you, do they are they involved with prostitution? He said no. And he said his company he doesn't get down with prostitution because he would never nobody in their fucking right mind will go on the stand and indict themselves. Because as soon as he said he got paid, he was paid to have sex with Cassie, he's basically admitted to prostitution. Understand? He's indicting himself on the stand. And I'm pretty sure before he got on that stand, everybody who got on that stand had spoke with their own personal lawyers who told them don't say that you got paid to have sex with Cassie. Because now you're going to put yourself in a position where you could be indicted. The government could use you at any fucking time they want. Or if any other case comes up in the future, they could admit to, and you ever get arrested for something, that have to do with sex, you just admitted in a federal case, on oath, understand that you got paid as a male prostitute to have sex with women. Who in their right mind is going to do that? You think logically. Who in their right mind is going to come up, go on that stand,
so all you got to do is look at the pictures that they released, and then just give it 1 or 2.
The pictures mean nothing. The pictures mean nothing.
All of them will come and testify. Don't worry.
The pictures mean nothing.
Okay.
All the pictures shows is what he's having sex with. There's an orgy going on. There's an orgy going on. They got
They released the pictures to let you know. Razor Red, maybe you can show him the pictures and stuff of the what do you call it? The people are going to come
What?
and testify. But they
At a
released
swinger party?
You talking about the male strippers?
exactly. They released the pictures just
Okay.
to let the defense know that hey, we.
How many of them? How many of them are prostitutes?
That's what I'm saying. I'll let Razor Red show you the picture. Don't worry.
All right.
And you can
So,
look at it if you want to.
if I show a picture of you, does that make you a prostitute?
My man, this is the court of law. They're not going to come and call and tell people, say this person's a prostitute, exotic
Hey,
dancer, that this
so-
person can come and testify that Diddy did this and they saw this and they saw this without having investigated and asked them and then have a sworn affidavit from them. So they were letting everybody know so the defense could get ready because that's how you play. Let everybody know what you have coming. So why would they come and say that if it wasn't true?
What's true? I'm still not getting what you're saying here, my brother.
No,
Because-
I think
hold on,
you're not familiar with it. You're not familiar with it.
Believe you me, brother. I'm well versed on the law, and I'm well versed on how the law works.
Okay.
I'm
So you see this? You see the
well-versed on
gentleman? You see the gentleman in the pictures over there?
Yes. Which one of them came in and said, "Yo, they got paid to have sex"?
All of these guys.
That's what they said on the stand.
They're about to come and say that on the stand too, but they've already said it to the feds.
Oh my God! Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't speculate. Wait till you hear a testimony.
That's what I just told you. It was just
No. You are
It's as simple as
speculating.
this. It's as simple as this. It's as simple as this.
You are speculating. There's a difference between facts and speculating.
Let me explain something to you.
Okay, go ahead.
On Friday, right? They let everybody know that hey, we're gonna have Capricorn Clark come and give her testimony.
Okay.
And when she comes and gives her testimony and whatnot, we're probably going to tie that to Ashton, right? Now, it wasn't speculation that on Friday that she was going to come and testify on Tuesday. It was fact that she's going to come and testify on Tuesday. Here we are Tuesday. She came and she testified. The same thing with these guys over here. On so and so dates, this person is going to come and testify. They're going to come and they're going to testify. So it's not about speculation. Like I said, it's just about keeping everybody declare of what's coming.
Okay. What you just said right there. Listen to what you just said right there. Right? You said the prosecutor let everybody know who's coming to testify on what date, right? That's facts. And you are correct. That is facts. But testify towards what? Did they say that?
Yeah. So basically,
What did they say Capricorn was going to testify to?
they said Capricorn was going to come and testify that, in fact, Diddy did come to a house, forced her to come into the car. They went to Kid Cudi's house. She saw, Diddy open,
Where did you get that information from?
That's what they told us. That's what they told us.
No,
that
I didn't. Listen, I asked you where did you get the information. I didn't ask you
from the courts, from the case.
What part of the case? Where could someone?
Case,
Hold on. Where could someone like me and everybody else in the chat go and get this information from?
What do you say?
Where could someone like myself,
Okay.
everybody in the chat,
If you want me to
go,
find
hold
out.
on. Hold on. Because you keep cutting. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. Where could someone like me and everybody in the chat go and get that information that you just said a minute ago?
It's real simple.
Where,
You
it's
can
okay.
just-
Tell us.
Yeah, it's real simple. You could just pull up the testimonies from the transcripts from the court case. Everything I'm saying, they already talked about, man.
See,
So that's how we knew that. That's how we knew that the DNA. The DNA came back. It was it was a DNA of a woman. That's how come we knew the
You never knew until the defense said something. Nobody knew until the defense said something. Everybody speculated. You know what I mean? Did he blow up the car? Did he burn up the car? Until the defense said something. Nobody knew about that.
That's what I'm saying. When they said something in court, we got to know about it.
Yes, in court.
That's what we're talking about, right?
No, you're talking speculation. You saying
No, I'm talking about what they said in court.
Hold on. Because hold on. You're saying
What are you talking about? What they said in court?
Yes, you're saying what they said in court.
Yes.
In court. You know, but you're not. But you're some of the shit you're saying is speculation. You're saying that
No,
the defense got all these
I
niggas.
would not speculate anything if I
Hold on,
don't.
hold on. I'm not finished. You're saying that the courts. You're saying that the defense, the prosecution have all these niggas lined up to testify on in court, on the stand, on the oath that they got paid to have sex with fucking Cassie, and Diddy paid them.
Yes, and they also came across state line.
That's speculation.
Okay.
What's the difference between speculation and fact?
Fair enough.
Well, let's ask about this one. Now this one is emails. Now you was in that courtroom, Big Super.
Yeah, I saw the email.
You saw the email. What do you? This is physical evidence. Now, is this enough right here? What do you call it? Blackmail, right? Did he blackmail from these emails? The jury again saw the email Cassie Ventura sent Capricorn Clark and her mother on December 23rd, 2011, under the alias Veronica Bain, referencing the threats from Sean Diddy Combs to Ventura and Kid Cudi.
Yes, I saw that email. I saw that email, and it was directed at Capricorn. But here's the thing with that email, though, it never came from Diddy.
It was Elias Veronica Bain. So you're saying that Veronica Bain wasn't Diddy?
It never came from Diddy.
See, I see what you're doing. All right. Well.
Yes.
Veronica Bain.
Raise the rate.
I saw the email myself personally with my own two eyes. I read where it was coming from. It was coming from Cassie, and then at the bottom they asked the CC Capricorn is you, and she was like, yes, that's me. And they were reading the email and everything like that about how Diddy's it was just crazy.
Razor Ray, let me ask you a question, Razor Ray. Did you find it odd? I found it odd that, when Cassie gave the testimony that when they were coming back in the plane, she decided to sit at another seat. Diddy moved to the seat next to her and showed her the video of the freak offs and threatened to release them once they get back to the States. She sent an email to her mom. Do you remember the email she sent to her mom? And the fact that her mom actually went forward with it and then took out a $20,000 equity loan on their home and then actually wired it to Diddy. The fact that Diddy's lawyers decided to let that go, that was crazy because I thought they were going to have a rebuttal to that. But I saw Diddy wave them off and they didn't have a rebuttal to that at all. Did you find that odd? Because that was a huge accusation right there.
That they waived. Yeah, I mean, it's out there. It's out there for the jurors. See, everything that's out there is in the juror's head. So it's up to one to believe.
It's in the juror's head with no rebuttal.
Yeah. It's I guess they probably didn't want any more of the mother speaking. You know what I'm saying? She probably would have got real emotional and went in.
No.
So they probably wanted her off that stand.
No. Oh my God.
So they probably
God.
Whatever the reason was on that one, that was kind of hard because that was a huge accusation, man.
Okay, did you see a check written to Diddy?
It's the wire, dumbass.
A wire transfer, right? A wire transfer to Diddy's account. Did they show the wire transfer account?
And that would be wire, right? Well, it wouldn't be fraud. It would just be.
Yeah, I'm saying, did they show a receipt? Because these things stay in the system for years, no matter how long you take it off. Did they show any? Listen, that email you talking about? She was sitting on the plane, and did he just show the tape and all this other shit? She's saying Diddy showed her this, and then on the email, she's just saying what Diddy. This is third party. All this shit is third party. Now, no one have yet have concrete evidence than saying this came from one of Diddy's device to her.
Augie says this Big Super has all the answers, doesn't he? Festival Travel says, Big Super back.
I swear to God, listen, I swear to God, y'all need to go down to a court. Stop watching the news. Stop watching, I mean, even though I'm telling you what I heard and everything, don't even listen to me, man. Go down to that courthouse. I'm telling you how easy it is. How to get in. I'm telling you, anybody could go. You're just gonna walk through the door. Go through the metal detector. Make sure you don't bring no lighters or anything like that. Any electronic devices you have, any electronic devices. I don't care how small it is. They're gonna confiscate it from you. They're gonna give you a poker chip, and you're just gonna go to the um, electronic booth, and you're gonna give them poker chip. They're gonna give you a number, and then you're gonna you tell them you're here to see the Sean Combs trial. They're gonna if the courthouse, if the courtroom where Diddy's at is not packed up, more than likely it's gonna be packed up with reporters. Um, they're gonna send you to an overflow room. There's two overflow rooms. There's one on the 24th floor and one on the 23rd floor. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go in those rooms. Just sit there and listen for one testimony. I guarantee you, y'all gonna be in the same seat that I'm in. Africa, where you from? What state? What city you from? Africa?
What's up?
Where you at? What state you in?
Oh man, I'm overseas right now. I'm traveling.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you, because I would have tell you go down to the federal building right now and go see the case.
Oh nah, man.
I guarantee you, you change most of your perspective because you're going to be sitting in that courtroom now. You hearing out of the horse's mouth because everything you're hearing right now is what reporters write down, and like I just told Razer, 98% of it is accurate. There's 2% of it that's not accurate.
Well, right now, guys, hit the like button and Big Super. Well, he was just in that courtroom, but right now the defense is cross-examining. They've been going at it for like 40 minutes, and well, they did.
Killing that bitch on the stand. I know they're killing that bitch on the stand.
Well, one thing they did get her to admit that Cassie was not talented. It says this, yo, Combs. This is Combs' lawyer. Combs' lawyer. All right, what did you see? Capricorn Clark says she went from being a sweet model to being a feisty girlfriend. Then Combs' lawyer, do you think she was talented? Then Clark says she had talent and was very beautiful. Combs' lawyer, but not talented? Question mark. Then she said she was not. I have good taste. Capricorn Clark said talented to me is Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. He was more of a studio musician. She needed things equalized. Wow. So that was one of the. And then Combs' lawyer said, did she perform live? Capricorn Clark says a couple of times she wasn't the greatest. Man, ouch. And then Combs' lawyer says, was she a hard worker? Then she says, at times. Well, no. She didn't. No. All right, that was no. She didn't say at times. Puffy's lawyer asked that, was she a hard worker? Then he said at times, so she didn't say at times. So that's a little something I said. Let me read. But they have been going at it.
Oh, yeah. I think if Brian still question her, one of Diddy's lawyers is gonna go at her, and then right now you probably
this Agnifilo. Yeah, Agnifilo.
Yeah, Agnifilo, he's probably going soft for her on certain soft questions, but one of the prosecutors is going to kill this bitch on the stand. I mean, from what I saw and what I heard, there's no way they're not going to kill her. And more, you're going to see a lot of them going up to talk to the judge. You're going to see a lot of sidebar going on, and when they really start getting at her, because like I said, I believe that she was a conspirator in taking Diddy to Cudi's house to go cause harm to him.
Well, if you believe that, then what do you call it? Don't we have Kidnapping, where she was forced from a house to go with Diddy to Cudi's house?
If she was
That's
forced,
the list of RICO.
if she was forced to go to leave
Not
her
if
house,
she was forced. She was forced, right? That's how
no,
you.
the reason why I says if she was forced to leave her house to go to Kid Cudi's house to go cause harm. In her own words, in her own testimony, she admitted to when Diddy and Bruce left the car, she had a phone with her, She was able to make a phone call.
You're not answering the
Get
question,
warranted.
man.
No,
I'm asking, do you believe she was kidnapped or she was not
no, I
kidnapped?
just said no. I said
Okay.
absolutely no.
That's
See,
fine.
unlike everybody else with the, no, I could give you the direct answer. The direct answer to that question is no, she was not kidnapped because no harm came to her.
Okay.
Now the question is, with a jury believe?
That's not a definition of kidnapping because you don't need harm. But okay, we hear you.
Okay, no, part of her testimony, the coercion part of it, because he had a firearm in his hand, the coercion part of it, yes, that could be part of a kidnapping. But me personally, I'm telling you, no, she was not kidnapped.
Okay. But you can see how somebody can see that as kidnapping.
She was she was coerced. She was coerced. There was coercion there.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that element of see, I'm not. I don't come here and I'm not on nobody's side or nothing like that. I'll tell you the fact.
That's hard to believe.
The fact is,
That's hard to believe.
there's really no fact. I'm until I went there and sat down in trial, it was easy for me to come up with a conclusion. When I went in there just to go see what the deal was about. But that part that you said right there,
Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Kidnapping, no.
Okay.
My main answer to that is no.
How about this? How about
Yes.
I go this further? How about I go this further? Remember the testimony that Don Richards made where she said, she and some of the band members witnessed Diddy beat up Cassie, and then after that, Diddy locked them up in the radio studio. I bet you that goes down as kidnapping also. What do you have to say about that?
That's hearsay.
Okay.
That's hearsay. Listen, if I tell you, yo, just like the way you just told me,
Well, guess what? The lawyers didn't say that when they didn't object to it.
are they gonna? Well, huh? They don't have to. They don't even have to say nothing about that.
They do
There's
have
no,
to.
no, they don't. They don't have to say. There's certain things. Listen,
You have to
there's
say
certain-
objection and then say that
No.
so that it's not put on the record. That's
Look,
what they have.
hold on. There's certain times defense lawyers will let certain things go because hold on, you're not listening. The reason why they'll let certain things go is because they want the door to be open for certain questioning of certain individuals. So, like, say that argument that you just made, where you said, "Oh, that was hearsay. They didn't object to that or nothing like that." All right, cool. So whoever that was who testified that, yeah, Diddy threatened them and locked the bandmates in. Now, let's say one of those bandmates comes and go on the stand, and they said no, Diddy didn't lock us in. Guess what that last defense witness looked like? Yes, a liar.
You see the word that you're using, speculating. Now you're speculating. Let's say this.
That is speculation. That is speculation.
I say nothing.
I don't say that was a fact. I didn't say it was
Well,
a
guess
fact.
what? No, none of the band members have come forward, so that doesn't apply in this case.
Exactly.
So
But
let's not talk about it.
hold on. Exactly. Now let's say
We don't want to say anything.
I'm speculating. Now I'm speculating. Now I'm giving you speculation.
Okay.
Let's say now the defense decide to call one of those bandmates because of that testimony. Now let's say the prosecution gonna say, "Oh no, we object to that." They can't object to it because they open the door for those lines of questioning.
Counselor Big Super says on RG, and then give it a break, dude. Setting a trap, says Yerp. Now, guys, hold on. Great show, Raze. Thank you, Yerp, and thank you, Big Super, and Africa for coming up here. Let me.
I gotta go. Listen, I gotta go. I gotta go take care of some stuff. I got some more
Blue,
business
Big
down
Super.
there about. Yeah, I got some more business down there by the court. I gotta go take care of myself.
All right, Big Super.
But
Thank
we're
you.
gonna catch up tonight, though. I'm gonna be here tonight. Probably I don't know if you go live tonight. I'll jump on it. But like I said, man,
I'll probably be covering the Knicks tonight, but yeah, but
yeah.
yo,
I don't know. I haven't been on YouTube in a minute because I've just been busy doing my work.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yo,
yeah.
but thank you, Big Super, for giving us your view from inside that courtroom today. That was great. That was great. You know,
Salute everybody.
testimony from you, actually.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like when I go down there, when I went down there, that shit was just
Oh well, they got cut off. You still there, Africa?
Yes, sir. I am.
Yeah, he lost his thing. But let's read what's going on in the courtroom. I'm gonna read this couple, then I gotta break out in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna see. Now they're talking about the Kid Cudi situation. This is Diddy's lawyer. Diddy's lawyer asks Capricorn Clark, did you look at Kid Cudi's door to see if they could get through it? Capricorn Clark says, I was not really paying attention. I was so in my head trying to plan my next step. I was praying that Kid Cudi was not in there. So she was praying that Kid Cudi was not inside the house as they were trying to go through the door. All right. And Diddy's lawyer said, did Cassie have 2 rooms? And then, okay.
By Diddy's lawyer asking her that question, Diddy's lawyer believes that place is Diddy right there.
Yeah, and this was a little bit before the questions I just asked you. Combs' lawyer says he's a jealous guy, ? Capricorn Clark says he had a bad temper. Diddy's lawyer. To the Escalade, did you pass a security guard? ? Clark says, I saw him in his little hut. And then Diddy's lawyer, Mr. Combs was behind the driver with a gun on his lap. You made a call? And then he said, not them. So I'm just little. All right, so here's another one. Here's another one. Instead of the Rails, the hater, and here's another one. A minute ago. All right, this is Capricorn Clark. Kid Cudi took her to one room. She had another. And then Combs' lawyer. You are 100% that you called and told them Puff had a gun? Clark says, yes, I said it very quickly. I didn't want Puff to see me on the phone. So this is, and then Combs' lawyer, did you say that Lauren London was on the phone with you and Cassie and Kid Cudi? Capricorn Clark says, no, only part of that time, voice cracking. I wanted someone to know where I was. Then Diddy's lawyer, what did you tell her? Clark says, I'm scared of mountain lions. So that's the latest right there. Got that court. What you thinking on that testimony right there? That's Diddy's lawyer cross-examining. That's Afalio cross-examining Clark, Capricorn Clark.
Man, that's like I said, the fact that they even plays Diddy over there, it's enough.
you say so. Big Super is not convinced they got him dead to rights. He said he would find him not guilty. You obviously, you're juror number 13. You will find him. You would find him guilty. Up until this point, right now, you would find him guilty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the good news is that we're not going by everybody's criteria of what they think is the element of evidence or whatnot. We have to go by what the court says and what the judge says. And if you go by that, which most people in America do go by, then it's without question. It's without question. It's without question. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like to prove arson in court usually involves a combination of physical evidence. They have the physical evidence between the pictures that Chip the River had, the dog, the dog walker had. They have the expert testimony from the fire service people. That now today we got the witness statements from Capricorn Clark, and we have the circumstantial evidence that from Cassie. Cassie said, Diddy say he was going to blow up the car. We have witnesses placing Diddy over there. Diddy had motive. That's it. I don't know if people think like when it comes to this cases, they need to see a video, they need to see DNA of Diddy over there before he gets convicted. No, that's why it's called a RICO.
Yeah, I think that's why people really thinking that they would like to see it. It would be great to have all that, the DNA video, but video evidence. But we've seen cases get tried and people go to jail or for just witness testimony without real. Yeah.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
That was just a convincing jury, all 12 jurors, you know what I mean? So, but you said you likely you would find him guilty at the moment at this stage,
Of course. And then, not adding Cudi's testimony where he was like, motherfucker, you in my house, this and this and that. Yeah, I'm waiting for you, this and this and that, and all of that stuff. There's so many corroborations, and that's all you need, man.
What do you think about this comment from T. Williams? That's breaking and entering, which he wasn't charged due to no evidence, not RICO. So let me go back to the RICO list right there. Arson, bribery. See, the arson thing, that's definitely under RICO.
For sure.
So that's why they're trying to nail him
The
on that.
the bribery part, that's just a done deal. That's a done deal. Between the officer Israel, and then the hotel people, that's a done deal.
And how about
right? Would you agree?
Yeah, distribution of a controlled substance.
That's a done deal too.
Now he wasn't mass selling it. He wasn't that, but I guess giving it to the people at the party. Will they consider that?
They didn't say anything about selling. They said distribution.
See, the government is slick. See, that's why it's so vague. That's why they be getting people with this RICO. They got all of this stuff underneath that RICO, and they
also said conspiracy, telling your guy, your personal assistant to go and buy it for you and all that stuff. It's all part of it.
Yeah,
that's easy. And like we already talked about, when it comes to the predicates, once they have two out of the what do you call the predicates of the RICO, that's all you need, bro.
Wire fraud, robbery, money.
They're trying to prove all of it.
That kidnapping. See, they got kidnapping up here, so they're trying to prove that's kidnapping. Now, jurors, they're really, and I guess in the closing remarks, when the prosecutors talk, they're gonna mention all of this stuff, right? But we're saying that.
Yeah, and so also let me ask you about this one, the witness tampering. Don't you agree that one has also been proved?
Well, that was when he was trying to get bail. They were trying to say that they feared that he would witness tamper, but I don't think
they have evidence. They said they have evidence of him witness tampering, calling different people.
Oh, okay. You know what? I kind of do remember something.
That's why they didn't give him bail. Well, yeah, man. Yeah. So they're proving that one too. You know what I mean? And also with him just telling, I mean, at least over here today too, they're saying, what did Capricorn class say? Hey, go and tell Cudi, blah 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 blah. If not, I'm gonna on a live view, blah blah blah. What is that? That's witness tampering right there too.
T. Williams keeps saying it's all circumstantial, no evidence. What do you got to say about that? I mean, we've been saying that people have been convicted with just circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, I just read the elements. I just read the elements that used to prove arson. So I don't know. Again, if it's not about your rules. Just follow the rules of the court. That's what we're saying. To prove something, so you need certain elements. Circumstantial is one of them.
Now, will all 12 jurors find that it isn't? See, that's the thing with the circumstantial. It's not 100% that all 12 jurors. That's why I was telling you the first time I seen you in the chat before. I was like, well, it's not 100% guaranteed that all 12 jurors are going to say that, they believe all these witnesses that's coming up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can believe, like, this two, put two into the. We can say, yeah, he burned that man car. Who else burned that?
Okay, I'll give you some insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
The profile of the jurors that they picked, that I mentioned, the investment analyst and the correctional officer and all those people, there's a science to that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's a science to jury selection. To be able to pick the people that you feel like are gonna, give you the best outcome. Right. Yeah. And as of now, the government is winning that by far. By far. By far. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody, if you look at their profiles and stuff like that, there's nobody who's on some, there's anybody who's not like a moral citizen who won't just go by what has been told by them. From the guy who's the investment analyst to the guy who's the professor to the guy who's the correctional officer. All the correctional officers and all those people and stuff, those are people who are used to following instructions and going, like, correctional officers are people who are trained to go by evidence and then also use, your brain to think outside the box. So if you think, you're gonna this big flimsy excuses of, this is hearsay. This is not hearsay when 2 or 3 people are coming to court and testifying against you and you don't have a defense. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, that is fact. That's facts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
How's the arson proof, says T. Williams. Then
We just talked about it, man.
where is this hating foreign tether from? So you said you're hating.
Oh yeah. That's how it goes.
Okay, let me see. Any new updates before I break out of here? For that, let me see. From that, let me see. I'm about to break out of here. Got some errands to run. So that is all right. So no updates. I'll come back live tomorrow and update what's happening for the rest of this court. I know the fireman supposed to, the fire department and the LAPD supposed to testify. I don't think they're gonna testify today. I think they're running out of time unless they extend the court time from 3:30 to like 5:30. But thank you, Africa, for coming on. We'll see what else happens in his testimony later on. I mean, as the afternoon goes on. But
Yeah, appreciate the hospitality, man. Great show. Keep doing your thing, man. We got your back.
thank you, Africa. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for popping on, Africa. And thank you, everybody. I'll come back tomorrow morning and tell y'all guys what else was testified in this courtroom. You know, like I said, the big news was Diddy kidnapped me, 5 days held in that apartment, and gave lie detector test. That's the big news right there. Capricorn Clark said a testimony. Big Super happened to be inside that courtroom. Big Super, thank Big Super for coming up here and giving his testimony to us of what he's seen. And he says Diddy is just going to get probation, and so he might get like 10, 15 years probation and fined, of course, and move on. Time served. So it remains to be seen. Great job, guys. Great job in the people in the chat. I'll be back on live later on tonight. Let's go, Knicks. Let's see if the Knicks can tie this series up 2-2. All right. So salute, guys. I'm Raze, and I am out.